Welcome to Next Level. But as the episode unfolds, that calm begins to unravel, and with it comes a whirlwind of emotions, decisions, and challenges that threaten the peace Heartland has always stood for. The serenity of the landscape becomes a stark contrast to the inner turmoil the characters face. As the storm brews, we are reminded that nothing stays the same for long. On Heartland Ranch, change is inevitable. And sometimes it's the toughest moments that lead to the most profound growth. What will the future hold for these beloved characters? One thing is for sure, the heart of Heartland beats stronger than ever. Stay tuned, because the journey is far from over. But as the camera zooms in on Amy, who is tending to the horses, there's a noticeable change. There's a weight on her shoulders, a sense of longing that hasn't been there before. Even after all this time, Ty's absence is deeply felt, and in quiet moments, that pain resurfaces. Then, something unexpected happens. Amy is stopped in her tracks as a figure emerges from a car that has just pulled up to the ranch. For an instant, time seems to freeze, her expression shifting between astonishment, confusion, and then ecstasy. She's seeing the man she believed was lost forever. How can this try and be the case? They had all acknowledged Ty's demise. How is it that he could be remaining here before her? The show doesn't sit around resolving these inquiries. Ty makes sense of that. His passing was faked as a feature of a secret activity to bring down a perilous criminal association. It was the best way to safeguard his loved ones. While leaving them made him extremely upset, he realized it was the best way to guard them. Amy's feelings are a hurricane at this time: help, satisfaction, incredulity, and even resentment. How should Ty have remained away for such a long time without a word, letting her figure he could stay away forever? In any case, each of that blurs when Ty ventures forward and embraces her. At that time, pretty much nothing else has any significance. All she has to know is that he's here and alive. Amy jumps into Ty's arms, and they share a sincere embrace that is as recuperating for the crowd for all intents and purposes for them. After all that they've had to deal with, they're at long last together once more. The camera waits, catching the crude feeling between them. Amy's tears fall openly as she grips to Ty, not having any desire to give up for dread he could vanish once more. Ty holds her firmly, murmuring conciliatory sentiments and consolations. It's a snapshot of unadulterated, unfiltered love that fans have been hanging tight for since Ty's flight. However close to home as Amy's response seems to be, it's Lindy's reaction to seeing her dad again that really pulls at the heartstrings. Lindy was only a child when Ty left, growing up with tales about him, seeing his photos, and feeling his non-attendance in each part of her life. Be that as it may, seeing him in person is something else. At the point when Lindy first sees Ty, she's reluctant. She takes a gander at him with wide eyes, attempting to accommodate the man before her with the dad she's just known through stories. There's a snapshot of quiet, and afterward a grin gradually spreads across her face as she remembers him, her father. Lindy's response is unadulterated and honest, a lovely difference to the complicated feelings Amy is feeling. For Lindy, this is a blessing from heaven. She runs toward Ty, who scoops her up into his arms, destroys streaming his face. It's an endearing, clashing get-together as Ty acknowledges exactly the amount of his little girl's life he's missed. The connection among Ty and Lindy is quick areas of strength and, after so lengthy, their association is tough. Holding her nearby, Ty murmurs vows to Lindy, promising to get the ball really rolling and to at absolutely no point ever leave her in the future. Jack, the family patriarch, has forever been a consistent presence in Amy's life. He's the one she goes to for direction, and his insight and strength have helped her through difficult stretches. Be that as it may, even Jack is shaken by Ty's return. From the beginning, he's astounded, battling to deal with how the situation is playing out. He had grappled with Ty's demise, however troublesome as it seemed to be, and seeing him fit as a fiddle is a shock. After the underlying mistrust, Jack's eyes mellow and a little grin shows up. He ventures forward and maneuvers Ty into an embrace, his grasp solid and consoling. Jack has consistently considered Ty to be a child, and having him back is a gift he won't ever anticipate. His response is downplayed yet strong, his hug a demonstration of the profound bond they share. As the episode advances, Jack discreetly watches the get-together, his eyes overflowing with bliss and help. He realizes there will be difficulties ahead. However, until further notice, he's substanced to just be at the time, encompassed by family. Lou, Amy's sister, has forever been the useful one, keeping things coordinated and chugging along as expected. Indeed, even she is startled by Ty's return. At the point when she initially hears the news, Lou's response is incredulity, attempting to acknowledge that Ty is alive. Yet, when she at long last sees him, reality sets in, and she's overpowered with feeling. Lou's response is a blend of satisfaction and concern. She's excited to have Ty back, yet additionally stressed over how this affects Amy and the family. Lou's center movements to finding solutions. However, until further notice, she sets her inquiries to the side to embrace the positive. She embraces Ty firmly, her eyes overflowing with tears. As the defensive sister, seeing Amy cheerful again is the only thing that is important to her at this time. Ty's taken on niece. Georgie has consistently respected him. He's been similar to a mentor, elder sibling, and tutor. Georgie was grief-stricken when Ty left, leaving a void in her life that nothing could fill. At the point when she sees Ty, her response is unfiltered. Notwithstanding satisfaction, there's shock. It appears to be unrealistic. Georgie races to Ty, folding her arms over him, and it's unmistakable his return means everything to her. The episode shows Georgie and Ty reconnecting, sharing stories and getting up to speed with missed time, a lovely sign of family and strong bonds. As the underlying shock of Ty's return starts to blur, Amy and Ty think of themselves as alone. The discussion between them is crude and profound as they address all that agony, dread, and help. Expressions of remorse and consolations are traded as they attempt to figure out their feelings. Amy recognizes Ty's explanations behind remaining endlessly, yet it doesn't decrease the despondency she felt. She shares her battles in his non-attendance and how she's attempted to continue on. This discussion brings a feeling of recuperating and goal. Their affection stays serious areas of strength, for as could be expected. As the episode concludes, the entire family gathers, celebrating Ty's return. Laughter, tears, and relief fill the air, reminding viewers what Heartland is about: family, love, and strength to face any obstacle. Although Ty's return brings new challenges, they're ready to face them together. The camera works out, showing the family around the supper table, a sensation of trust waiting in the air. Their process ahead will not be simple. However, with one another's help, they're prepared for whatever comes straight away. On the off chance that you missed it, Ty unfortunately died in season 14, leaving a significant misfortune that impacted the two characters and fans. His passing was an essential second that changed life at Heartland Farm perpetually, making his rebound a shock to the Heartland people group. Be that as it may, Ty's return isn't just about bringing him back. It's a close-to-home excursion. Instead of fixing the distress, his return addresses another section for himself, as well as his loved ones. The arrival of Ty opens new and significant roads for both the characters and watchers to investigate subjects of misfortune, recuperating, and conclusion. How does Ty return then? The significant disclosure happens right off the bat in season 18. Amy, who has been fighting various individual and farm-related issues, starts to encounter serious dreams and recollections, including Ty. At first, these appear to be a survival technique, a way for Amy to deal with her unsettled aggravation. Nonetheless, as the episodes progress, obviously these fantasies are something beyond her creative mind. Ty starts to appear to Amy in seemingly a dream, offering her direction, support, and, in particular, conclusion. We should investigate Amy's response to Ty's return. Amy's process has forever been integral to Heartland, and her relationship with Ty was one of the most darling parts of the show. After Ty's demise, Amy needed to explore existence without him, confronting the difficulties of single parenthood, running the farm, and figuring out how to push ahead. Her misery reverberated with fans on a profoundly private level. In Season 18, Amy's underlying response to seeing Ty again is mistrust. The aggravation of his misfortune is still new, and the possibility that she may be seeing him, whether in a fantasy, a dream, or something different, feels like a horrible stunt of the brain. She questions her mental soundness, contemplating whether the pressure of running the farm and raising Lindy has, at last, caused significant damage. In any case, as her dreams of Ty become more continuous and striking, Amy understands that something genuine and significant is going on here. As Ty keeps on showing up, offering direction and consolation, Amy gradually starts to acknowledge his presence. These experiences with Ty become a wellspring of solidarity for her, assisting her with facing the unsettled despondency and responsibility she has conveyed since his passing. Through these otherworldly cooperations, Amy begins to recuperate, discovering a genuine sense of reconciliation with Ty's misfortune while treasuring the recollections of their time together. This excursion isn't just about conclusion for Amy yet, in addition about rediscovering her own solidarity and versatility. Ty's return fills in as a sign of the adoration they shared and the existence they worked, while engaging Amy to continue to push ahead. As she acknowledges Ty's presence, she likewise starts to reconnect with the things that once given her pleasure, the ponies, the farm, and, above all, her loved ones. Presently, we should discuss Lindy, Amy, and Ty's girl. Despite the fact that Lindy was exceptionally youthful when Ty died, she has consistently felt his non-attendance. All through the seasons, we've seen Amy give her all to keep Ty's memory alive for Lindy, sharing stories and showing her photos. In any case, with Ty's return, Lindy will encounter an association with her dad she never had. For Lindy, Ty's return is both soothing and confounding. She's as yet youthful, and the possibility of her dad showing up in dreams is hard for her to get a handle on completely. However, kids have a striking skill to acknowledge things grown-ups could battle with, and Lindy rapidly embraces that her dad is looking after her and her mother. The glow and love Ty carries to these minutes furnish Lindy with a feeling that everything is good and having a place. As Amy shares her experiences with Ty's spirit, she also involves Lindy in the process. This leads to heartwarming scenes where Amy tells Lindy stories about Ty, helping her understand who he was and what he stood for. These moments are not only touching, but also help Lindy build a relationship with her father, even if it's in a non-traditional sense. Through these stories, Lindy learns about Ty's values, his love for the ranch, and the deep bond he shared with Amy. This connection with her father's spirit also plays a crucial role in Lindy's development. As she grows up and becomes more involved in ranch activities, Lindy begins to embody many of Ty's qualities, his kindness, patience, and love for animals. Ty's presence, even in a spiritual form, helps shape the person she is becoming, giving her a strong foundation as she navigates the challenges of growing up. Jack, the steadfast grandfather and patriarch of the Heartland family, has always been a rock for everyone around him, offering wisdom and support whenever it's needed. However, Ty's return reveals a more vulnerable side of Jack, one that fans don't often see. Jack's relationship with Ty was always special. Ty was more than just a grandson-in-law. He was like a son. When Ty passed away, Jack was deeply affected, though he hid his pain for the family's sake. Now, with Ty's return, Jack has a chance to confront the grief he's kept buried for so long. In Season 18, we see Jack grappling with his emotions in a powerful and poignant way. Ty's return allows Jack to reflect on their shared past, remember the good times, and acknowledge the pain of losing someone so important. This reflection leads to emotional scenes where Jack opens up to Amy about his feelings, something he rarely does. These heart-to-heart conversations between Jack and Amy are among the season's most touching moments. Jack reminisces about the lessons Ty taught him and the bond they shared. He also expresses pride in how Amy has handled everything since Ty's death, acknowledging her strength and resilience. But these conversations also reveal Jack's own vulnerabilities, as he admits to the guilt and sadness he's carried since Ty's passing. Ty's return offers Jack a sense of closure he didn't realize he needed. It allows him to let go of some of the guilt, forgive himself for what he couldn't change, and embrace memories of Ty with a sense of peace. This journey of self-discovery is significant for Jack's character and resonates with fans who have experienced similar losses. Lou, Amy's older sister, has always juggled multiple roles: mother, businesswoman, and part of the Heartland family. Over the years, Lou has struggled to balance her career, personal life, and responsibilities at the ranch. Ty's return in Season 18 brings a renewed focus on Lou's character, especially in how she reconnects with her family. Lou's relationship with Ty was one of mutual respect and understanding. He supported her endeavors, and she admired his dedication to the family and ranch. When Ty died, Lou was devastated, not only for herself, but also for Amy and Lindy. She felt the weight of trying to fill the void Ty left, especially in supporting Amy through her grief. With Ty's return, Lou reflects on her journey and the choices she's made. His spiritual presence reminds her of the importance of family and the need to be present for those she loves. This prompts a recharged exertion on Lou's part to reconnect with her loved ones. All through Season 18, we see her making additional opportunity for family, focusing on connections over her profession. Without precedent for a drawn-out period of time, she invests more energy at the farm, assisting Amy with the ponies, and turning into a more dynamic piece of Lindy's life. This change in Lou's needs connotes her development as a person and her acknowledgement of the main thing. One of the time's most contacting minutes is when Lou has a tranquil discussion with Ty's soul, expressing gratitude toward him for all he accomplished for the family and for being the individual Amy required. This second is a soothing delivery for Lou, permitting her to communicate the sentiments she has kept inside since Ty's passing. It's a snapshot of recuperating for Lou, however, for the whole Heartland family. Georgie, who admired Ty as a mentor, is profoundly influenced by his return. Ty was dependably a wellspring of motivation for her, reassuring her to seek after her fantasies and never surrender, regardless of the difficulties. His faith in her aided shape Georgie not entirely settled and driven young lady she is today. With Ty's return, Georgie is overwhelmed with feelings. On one hand, she's thrilled to feel his presence once more. On the other, it brings back the agony of losing him and aggravation she's endeavored to survive. Be that as it may, Georgie channels these sentiments productively, utilizing them to push forward. Ty is still with her in soul, empowering her. She involves his return as motivation to continue to seek after her objectives. This is particularly clear in her equestrian exercises, as she detects Ty's direction and certainty pushing her to take on new difficulties. All through Season 18, we see Georgie propelling herself harder than any time in recent memory, endeavoring to accomplish the objectives she and Ty once discussed. Whether it's preparation with ponies, contending in occasions, or coming to conclusions about her future. Georgie conveys Tay's soul with her, involving it as a wellspring of solidarity. George's discussion with Ty's soul before a significant contest is one of the time's most contacting scenes. She lets him know the amount she misses him and vows to do right by him, showing serious areas of strength for the they shared one that perseveres past death. Tay's homecoming isn't just about Georgie tracking down conclusion. It's likewise about honoring his memory by having the existence he generally accepted she was prepared to do. It's a strong message about strength, the significance of mentorship, and the enduring effect one individual can have on another. Heartland Season 18's otherworldly homecoming of Ty Borden has added a more profound degree of subtlety, respecting his importance to the Heartland family while investigating subjects like mending, the getting through force of adoration, and grieving. In each episode, Ty's presence is felt as a memory, yet as a directing power that assists the characters with beating snags. Amy tracks down the solidarity to push ahead. Lindy constructs an association with her dad. Jack defies his long-covered pain. Lou rediscovers the significance of family. And Georgie seeks after her fantasies with recharged life. Ty's return significantly affects everybody at Heartland Farm, contacting fans profoundly, and helping us to remember the significance of prizing recollections of those we've lost, while summoning the solidarity to push ahead. However, Tay is as of now not truly present. His soul lives on in the hearts of fans and characters, making Season 18 one of the show's most moving and significant seasons to date. Season 18, Episode 1, An Endearing Return. Season 18 of Heartland opens with a strong episode loaded up with endearing minutes, nostalgic flashbacks, and an overflow of adoration. The eagerly awaited return of Ty Borden, played by Graham Wardle, brings a flood of feelings fans have been enthusiastically anticipating. The episode starts with Amy and the remainder of the Heartland family approaching their day-to-day schedules. Be that as it may, there's an unmistakable feeling of expectation. Amy, played by Golden Marshall, is centered around her work with the ponies. However, there's a waiting feeling of yearning in her eyes. Out of nowhere, the natural sound of a truck pulls up, and as she pivots, he is right there, Ty Borden. The second is electric as Ty gets out of the truck, and they lock eyes. Their gathering is delightfully depicted, loaded up with a blend of shock, euphoria, and incredulity. Ty makes sense of his long non-attendance, sharing the battles and difficulties he looked during his time away. The science among Tay and Amy stays irrefutable, and their romantic tale keeps on being one of the show's most spellbinding viewpoints. To completely see the value in this get-together, we go on an outing through a world of fond memories, returning to their romantic tale. From the second they met, their association was obvious. Ty, a grieved youth, tracked down comfort and reason at Heartland because of Amy and her family's resolute help. Their relationship has confronted various obstructions. However, through everything, their affection just developed further. Their wedding stays one of the series' most important minutes, a delightful function that left fans mournful. Presently, with Tay's return, their story proceeds. Amy is excited to have Ty back. However, there are waiting inquiries and feelings that need tending to. As Ty and Amy plunk down to talk, obviously both have developed during their healthy separation. They share their encounters and reaffirm their obligation to one another, featuring the profound bond they share. While Tay and Amy's romantic tale becomes the overwhelming focus, the episode additionally investigates Lindy's excursion. Lindy, the girl of Tay and Amy, has developed fundamentally over the seasons. In this episode, she explores her own difficulties and tracks down her place inside the Heartland family. Lindy, played by Ruby and Emanuela Spencer, exhibits a characteristic ability for working with creatures. One champion second is when Lindy faces a test with one of the ponies. In spite of her young age, she moves toward the circumstance with development and assurance. Amy and Ty watch gladly as Lindy handles what is happening, displaying the abilities and values they've imparted in her. Lindy's process isn't just about her development as a pony coach yet, in addition, her profound turn of events. The episode perfectly investigates her sentiments about her dad's return. One more feature of the episode is the family supper scene, where the whole Heartland family assembles around the table, sharing chuckling, stories, and food. This scene exemplifies the quintessence of Heartland family, love, and fellowship. As the episode attracts to a nearby, Tay and Amy ponder their excursion. They recognize the difficulties they've confronted and offer their thanks for the help of their loved ones. This second is a wonderful sign of the strength of their affection and the flexibility of the Heartland family. Season 18, Episode 1 of Heartland is a thrill ride of feelings. Ty's return gives pleasure and trust while tending to the intricacies of his non-attendance. Amy and Ty's romantic tale proceeds to dazzle, and Lindy's process adds another layer of profundity to the show. The essayists worked really hard winding around together, over a significant time span, permitting us to remember probably the most impactful minutes from Ty and Amy's relationship, while likewise pushing their story ahead. One of the most over-the-top contacting parts of this episode is the utilization of flashbacks. We see youthful Tay and Amy as they explore the beginning of their relationship. These flashbacks feature the amount they've developed as people and as a couple. For instance, there's a beautiful sequence where we see Ty teaching Amy to ride a motorcycle, paralleling a present-day scene where they take a ride together after his return. This ride represents the journey through their memories and a reaffirmation of their bond. The open road symbolizes the possibilities of their renewed relationship and the adventures that lie ahead. Shifting focus to Lindy, her perspective on Ty's return is handled with great sensitivity. Her interactions with Ty are some of the most touching moments. In one heartwarming scene, Tay and Lindy work on a school project together. Ty uses this opportunity to share stories from his own childhood, helping Lindy understand more about where he comes from and why he had to leave. This bonding moment is both educational and emotionally fulfilling for Lindy. In this episode of Heartland, Lindy's school project goes beyond the classroom. It becomes a heartfelt bridge to her father's past. As Lindy and Ty reconnect, Amy finds herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, reliving the beautiful journey that brought them all together. Join me as we dive into the powerful memories and evolving bonds that make this family truly unforgettable. From first kisses to life-changing milestones, let's explore how Heartland captures the magic of love, legacy, and healing.